The chain of compassion. Lena walked quickly, shivering in her thin coat. It felt like the worst day her boss had scolded her. Her bills were piling up, and now she had just missed the last bus home. With a heavy sigh, she continued down the slick sidewalk. As she passed an alley, her eyes caught sight of someone sitting against a brick wall. An old man, frail and trembling from the cold. His face looked exhausted, his hands purple from the chill. People walked past him without a second glance. Lena hesitated. Her own life wasn't easy, but something about the man's weary eyes tugged at her heart. She stepped closer, crouched down, and gently asked, "Sir, do you need help?" The man lifted his face slowly. I'm just cold," he murmured weakly. Without a second thought, Lena took off her coat and wrapped it around his shoulders. The icy air bit at her skin, but she didn't care. She reached into her bag and pulled out a sandwich she had packed but never eaten. "Here, have this." The man looked at her, his eyes welling with tears. "It's been so long since someone cared." Lena gave him a small smile, squeezed his hand briefly, then stood up and walked away. She was still shivering, but inside, she felt warm. Almost a year had passed since that night. Lena was still struggling to find a stable job. When a big company unexpectedly invited her for an interview, she had no idea how she got the opportunity. The door opened, and a well-dressed man walked in with a warm smile. "Miss Lena, it's a pleasure to meet you." Lena stood up, confused. "I'm sorry, have we met before?" The man chuckled. "Not directly, but you know my father. My father was the man you helped on the street that night. After that encounter, he sought help, found shelter, and eventually reunited with our family." The man smiled meaningfully. "You changed his life and all of ours." Lena gasped, covering her mouth with her hands. She had never imagined that her small act of kindness had such a huge impact. "I believe good people deserve opportunities. That's why you're here today. Congratulations, you got the job." Tears welled up in Lena's eyes. One small act, one moment of kindness, and now, her own life was changing too.